Welcome to another episode of Cooper's Cogitations. I'd like to read a synopsis of what we've done so far. The reason I'm doing these episodes is because the issue is, why did the Christian founders rebel against their Christian king and their Christian parliament when Paul says, be subject to the powers that be? They list 29 specifications of violations in the Declaration of Independence. These are all legal pronouncements. They were legal. The government did it. So what's their argument? The argument is in the first paragraph. They violated the laws of nature, natural law, and nature's God, the laws of nature's God of the Bible. So what I did, I started with Exodus, and I showed that the Israelites were slaves in Egypt. I correlated that today and showed how Americans are slaves to our government today. And then they went out and they went to Sinai. And in Sinai, in Exodus 18, God gave the Israelites a representative government, the first representative government on earth. They chose their judges, representatives, delegates for families of 10, 50, 100, 1,000. When they had the population, 10,000, 100,000. They had a representative government. They had courts of original and appellate jurisdiction. Yet it was 10 families. You knew the guy that was ruling you, not ruling you, judging you, representing you. When King Mosiah in the Book of Mormon's sons went on a mission to the Lamanites, he needed to have a government. He and his priests read the brass plates. They read about Sinai. They instituted a representative government also. The founders reading the Bible brought about a representative government also. It's divided, separation of powers. There's a hierarchy, division of powers. They built the Constitution on the laws of nature and the laws of nature's God, the Bible. Now, Locke and Blackstone, and to a degree Cicero, are heroes of mine relative to the natural law. There are, I think, 2 episodes dealing with the natural law and why it's so crucial. It illuminates our society today. When you violate the natural law, you lose common sense, flee from yourself, and deny your own human nature. You don't have to know what the law is. If you violate it, that's going to be the results. A 2-year-old knows nothing about gravity. If they walk off a 2-story building, gravity takes place. I was a little kid, about 6 or 7 years old. I took a bobby pin and shoved it into an electric outlet. My grandmother knocked my hand away, but the I don't know if it was electricity or melted metal or whatever it is, came out and was spurting. I didn't get burned. My grandmother took care of me. I didn't know what it was all about, but I could have had some problems. So it doesn't matter if we know what the natural law is. What matters is that we do what's right all the time. Now, that brings us to the biblical law. In the biblical law, I showed how America was founded. The Pilgrims came to America not for religious freedom. They had religious freedom. They had a generational view of their families. They wanted to do a great work for God. The truce, the 12-year truce between the Low Countries and Spain was expiring. They didn't want to get caught up in war. They wanted to do a great work for God. They wanted to save their families. They couldn't build their church because no one else was coming. It was so hard. So they got in the Mayflower and came over. Before they landed, they followed the biblical injunction. found in Exodus. They wrote the Mayflower Compact and separated church and state. Same as what the First Amendment is. It separates church and state. That's an individual specific church. Because all law is religious in nature. All laws tell you what's right and wrong, what you can do and what you can't do. Therefore, those who make the laws or the legal enactments, they codify their religion in those legal enactments or that law. That's why you could have laws, legal enactments say, hey, Jew, put on the yellow star. Hey, Jew, get on the boxcar. Hey, Jew, get into the cremation. Go get yourself cremated. Yeah. That's why you can have legal pronouncements where over in communist Russia, the district leader called up the precinct chair and says, your quota this week is 250. To which the precinct chair responds, I'm a loyal party member. I will give you 500 executions this week. It's all legal. It violates the laws of nature, and it violates the laws of nature's God. That's happening in America today. You need to make a distinction. You need to make, these are the laws of God, these are the laws of man. Where do I go from here? Because there are violations. I don't want to bore you and tell you what I've had to do. Okay? And then we started with the Bible, the 10 Commandments. In our next episode, I want to illuminate, thou shalt not kill. But of course, you know, like I know, it should read, thou shalt not murder. Translators over the centuries, over the millennium, because you can kill. If guy breaks into my house, I can defend myself. That's killing. I didn't murder him. He breaks into my house and kills me, that's murder. See, violating the laws of God, violating the natural law. So we'll talk about this commandment, thou shalt not murder, the 6th commandment, in our next episode. Thank you very much.